Hello everyone, I am Dr. Garima Srivastava from Lal Bahadur Shastri College, Lucknow. Now today we are going to discuss about process of communication. Now what is communication? For this purpose we need to know what is communication. Communication is a two-way process wherein the message in the form of ideas, thoughts, feelings, opinions is transmitted from one person or more to the other person in an organization. And what is the intent? The intent of transferring the information is to create a shared understanding. Now why do we communicate? That means we communicate to share a common understanding, a common idea between the two people who are sharing this information. An act of conveying intended information and understanding from one person to the another is called as communication. The term communication is derived from Latin word communis, which means to share, to communicate. Effective communication is when the message is conveyed by the sender to is understood by the receiver in exactly the same way as it was intended. That means thus whatever the sender was sending, whatever kind of information the sender was giving, the receiver was receiving the same intended message. That means the same intention is being received by the receiver. So, whenever there is a leakage in this intention, the sender is not able to send the same information, or sender has some kind of inefficiency in sending the information to the receiver. In that case, the receiver will receive a different kind of intended information. Now, this intended information will be encoded or decoded by the receiver, and now this receiver will understand it through his own understanding. So, that is why for effective communication it is necessary that the sender sends the information to the receiver in the same way as it was intended. Now, for how he can do so? He has to ensure this from the receiver by the way of feedback. The sender can take a feedback from the receiver to ensure that whatever he was sending was in the same way received by the receiver. Now, talking about the process of communication. Communication is a very dynamic process that begins with the conceptualization of ideas by the sender, who then transmits the message through a channel to the receiver, who in turn gives the feedback in the form of some message or signal within the given time frame. Thus, there are 7 major elements of the process of communication. Now, when we talk about the process of communication, it is a very dynamic process, because when with the change in business, with the change in times, the communication process also keeps growing, it keeps on developing, because every day we can see many changes in the business. Why? Because of the advent of different technology, advent of different methods, processes that are being used in the organization, and any of the improvisation processes that are being used in the organization. So, when this improvisation is there, the process of improving is taken up, then of course, the older methods will be replaced by newer methods, or at least rectification of the older methods will take place. That is why communication is called as a dynamic process. The same process that was being taken up in 1980s will not follow in 1990s, something new has been coming up. Similarly, what was being taken up in 1990s, it will not be taken up in 2020. So, why? Because there will be change in the external environment of the business, and due to change in the external environment, there will be a change in the processes of the business. Now, when we talk about the process of communication, it is a 7-step process. Now, here we can see it: sender, encoding, message, channel, receiver, decoding, and the noise. Noise can be called as an external effect, or that can fluctuate the information to a larger extent. Now, we will take up the components of the communication part in brief, in detail. Now, the very first part, that is sender. Now, for of course communication, a first person will be a sender, that means there will be a communicator. Now, who is a communicator? Communicator is a person who will takes up the information, who will take up the information that is to be given to the other people. Now, he will understand this information through his own understanding. Now, once he has understood that information, he will conceptualize, or he will make at least points or filter that information in his own through his own ideas or through his own thoughts. Now, that means whatever the sender is conceptualizing should be the same as he wants to send to the receiver. Now, sender or communicator is the person who initiates the conversation and has conceptualized the idea that he intends to convey it to the others. That means, now for example, if we take up in an organization, sender can be any of the top level person, he can be of any of the bottom level person also. Now when we talk about the top level management, the sender can be, the information can move from top to down, that means it can be a type of downward communication where we can say policies, rules, regulations of the organization flow. That means whatever the things have been made by the top management will move to the down management or middle level management or the lower level management. Similarly, when we talk about upward kind of communication, some certain kind of suggestions, problems, griefs, they can move from employees at a lower level management or the middle level management to the upper level management. So, both can be senders. Now, we need to see what kind of information is there to check on the type of sender. Secondly, if we talk about encoding, now sender begins with the encoding process wherein he uses certain words or non-verbal methods such as symbols, signals, signs, body gestures, etc. to translate the information into message. The sender's knowledge, skill, perception, background, competencies, etc. has a great impact on the success of the message. Now, this is a part, encoding is a part that is being done by the sender. That means, now once he has conceptualized the information, when he has understood the information, now he has to encode that information. That means, he will try to assimilate the information in the form of different symbols, signs, gestures and words through which he will be sending this information to the people, intended people. Now, before sending this, he has to do this encoding. That means, whatever message he has to send, this message has to be encoded in the terms of thoughts of the sender, so that he can translate this into this information to the receiver. Now, for doing so, he can use different symbols, signs, body gestures. Similarly, he will make use of his own skills, his own knowledge level, his own perception, background in encoding. Of course, like for example, if we say we need to check on the components of a bridge, we need to check on the composition of what is a mixture of the cement, mixture of cement, sand that will be taken up for the building up of a bridge. Now, if we give this kind of information to a layman or say a management person who is not of an engineering background, he will not be able to assimilate that information, he will not be able to judge, conceptualize that information, he will not be able to convert it or encode that information. Now, that means whatever information is related to the certain person, that certain person will only be able to convey this message further. Similarly, we can say if we talk about budgeting, the finance person will be the best person in the organization to talk about budgeting to different departments. Suppose we talk about marketing. Now, marketing people will be the best people who will be given this kind of information. Now, similarly, if we talk about budgeting, if budgeting is being talked about by HR people, now they will be able to tell the type of budgeting only which is related to budget, but they will not be able to actually make understand the process of budgeting to the other people. So, that is why it is necessary to see, to look into that who is going to give this kind of information. Now, whatever is the type of information, we need to select that type of person only from the organization to give this message. So, we can say to give the information about policies, any of the top management person like CEO or MD can come up with the notices. Similarly, if there is a change in suppose PF or bonuses, any of the HR person can come up and give the information. Similarly, if there is a change in the mixture or there is a new product development, then the marketing person can be taken up. So, similarly, we need to see what kind of information will be given by whom, then only we will be able to decide on the best sender for the information. Now, the third part, that is message. Once the encoding is finished, the sender gets the message that he intends to convey. The message can be written, oral, symbolic, non-verbal such as body gestures, silence, sighs, sounds etc., or any other signal that triggers the response of a receiver. Now, once this message is encoded by the person who has to give this information, it can be conveyed. Now, it will be conveyed. Now, how it can be conveyed? It can be conveyed through different methods. It can be done through written, it can be done through oral method, it can be done through symbolic or non-verbal methods. Now, of course, we need to check on the type of information. If that information needs some kind of written handouts, then you can assist your main vocal message with your handouts, written handouts. So, oral with written. Then similarly, along with oral messages, you can also use different symbols. Now, these symbols you can depict through a presentation, you can also depict through a handout also, or a pamphlet you can give to the people. Now, sometimes you can also use non-verbal communication such as body gestures, silence, sighs, sounds etc. Now, non-verbal communication is a very important part of communication, because when we talk about verbal, we are already speaking. So, whatever we are speaking, the person is listening, but when we talk about non-verbal communication, we are not speaking anything, we are just giving a kind of symbol, we are giving a kind of gesture. So, this gesture should not send any kind of negative message to the person. So, we need to understand what are the different body gestures that are being used by the people. Now, when we talk about communication channel, the sender chooses a medium through which he wants to convey his message to the recipients. Now, once he has already encoded the message, he will decide on the type of message, that means whatever forms he is going to use, whether it is written, it is oral, or it is non-verbal kind of, he will make that particular list. Now, he will do so through certain channels, communication channels. Now, when we talk about communication channels, there are already laid channels through which we can do so. Now, these laid channels can be your media, they can be audio channels, they can be audio media channels, and they can be purely audio channels. So, audio channels means when you are only speaking, the person is listening. Audio media means when you are also speaking and you are also giving certain kind of handouts. The choice of medium depends on the interpersonal relationship between the sender and the receiver. Now, this choice always remains with the sender, that what kind of media he is going to take up. Now, he will check on the type of receiver he has. Now, whatever is the type of receiver, he will check on that. Then he will also see that receiver will understand what kind of information. Now, accordingly he will take up the different channels that he is going to communicate with. The choice of medium depends on the interpersonal relationship between the sender and the receiver, and also on the urgency of the message being sent. Now, it can be oral, virtual, written, sound, gesture etc. are some of the commonly used communication mediums. Now, some of the commonly used mediums are oral, virtual, written, sound and gesture. Now, you can take up, you as a sender can take up any of such mediums to forward your message to the receiver. Now, coming down to the receiver. Now, receiver is a also very important part of process of communication. Who is a receiver? Receiver is a person who is receiving the message or who is listening to the sender. That means, whatever a sender is trying to send, the receiver will receive it or listen it. So, therefore, a receiver is a person for whom the message is intended or targeted. He tries to comprehend it in the best possible manner such that the communication objective is attained. That means, receiver will try to receive the information in the best possible manner. He will try to interpret that information through his knowledge, he will try to interpret that information through his skills in the best possible manner. The degree to which the receiver decodes the message depends on his knowledge of the subject matter, experience, trust and relationship with the sender. That means, receiver will also have certain kinds of qualities. Now, when we talk about the qualities of a receiver, we talk about the qualities of a listener. That means a good listener will always receive the things, receive the message in the same intended manner as the sender is sending. So, he will take into his consideration his knowledge, experience, trust, relationship with the sender. That means, whenever the sender is trying to send something, the receiver should comprehend it, receiver should interpret it through his own knowledge. Now, of course, for this purpose, for effective communication, sender will also do his kind of homework and receiver will also do his kind of homework. That means, sender will be fully 100% prepared that whatever he is trying to give, whatever information he is trying to give, he has collected all sorts of information related to that particular topic. Similarly, receiver will also try to assimilate more and more of the information that the sender is giving. Then comes the part that is called as decoding. We have talked about encoding. Encoding was a part in which the sender encodes the information to be sent to the receiver. Now, decoding means another kind of process which the receiver will use. What he will use? He will decode what the sender has sent. Now, that means the coding of the sender, the conceptualization of the sender of the information will be decoded by the skill and knowledge of the receiver. Here, the receiver interprets the sender's message and tries to understand it in the best possible manner. An effective way communication occurs only if the receiver understands the message in exactly the same way as it was intended by the sender. That means, an effective effective listening or effective sending of the message will only happen if the receiver receives it in the same way as the sender has given it. Now, the last component of the process of communication, that is the feedback. That is feedback. Now, you can see this arrow, it moves from decoding part to the sender. That means, feedback is a most important part of communication. Why? Because sender has already encoded a message, he has sent this message through a channel, the receiver receives this message and decodes this message. Now, it is the responsibility of the sender that he ensures that whatever was being sent by the sender is exactly the same that the receiver has received. For this purpose, he will take this feedback. Now, feedback means he will ensure, he will talk to the receiver, he will take some queries from the receiver which will ensure the sender that whatever information the sender was giving, the receiver has received it in the same way. Now, this feedback can be done in the many methods. It can be done through a questionnaire method. You can prepare a questionnaire, you can prepare a hard copy of that questionnaire and get it filled by the receiver, then you can give that feedback. Similarly, you can put up question answer round at the end of your information exchange or at the end of your lecture, where you will understand that what is the understanding level of the receiver who has been taking your information. So, all these processes, all these components of process of communication will be affected by noise. Noise is only one part which will affect the communication process. There are many other parts also which will be acting as a barrier to communication. Now, how do noise occur? Now, noise can be any of the noise that comes from the background when the sender is giving this kind of information. So, certain kind of noises that are being disturbing to the receiver. So, due to this noise, the receiver gets disturbed and does not receive the information that the sender was giving in the same manner, same intended manner as the sender was sending. So, what is feedback? Feedback is the final step of the process that ensures the receiver that received the message and interpreted it in correctly as it was intended by the sender. That means, whatever was received and was interpreted in the same correct manner as was being sent by the sender. Now, it increases the effectiveness of the communication and it permits the sender to know the efficacy of his message. That means, it will also give him a feedback that what is the correct level of knowledge that has been sent to the receiver And is there any need to again give the information to the receiver in any of the chances in the organization. So, it will increase the efficacy of the message, and it will also ensure that all the intended people have received the intended message for better transparency in the organization. The response of the receiver can be verbal and it can be non-verbal. That means, if we take up the feedback in a verbal form, if we take up the feedback in question answer round, it can be in the form of verbal form, and if we take it in a written form, it can be in a non-verbal form. Now, what is the purpose of communication? Why do we communicate in information, communicate in organization? The very first purpose is flow of information. We have already talked about communication. Communication means flow of information. Communication means sharing of ideas, thoughts, or to communicate, to share between two people. Now, the flow of information, communication is communication is done through information flow from one person to the another in the organization. The relevant information must flow continuously from top to bottom and vice versa. When we talk about flow of information, the information that is relevant, we talk about relevant, the term relevant is used. It means that only relevant information, the person for whom this information is intended should only know the information, not the other people. So, for this purpose communication is important. We need to understand the communication, we need to understand the information is intended for which person. Now, we will communicate this information to this intended person only through different mediums. Now, this can be top to bottom, bottom to up, it can be horizontal communication, or it can be vice versa. The staff at all levels must be kept informed about the organizational objectives and other developments taking place in the organization. The use of difficult words should be avoided. The right information should reach the right person at the right time through the right person. Now, actually the purpose of communication is that the right information should reach the right person. That means, the information should not reach to such people who are not intended for that particular information. So, that is why we need to categorize the information for different people, and we will be sending this information to the intended person at the right time. Right time means the information should be sent at the right time. Once the time crosses or once the time lapses, the information may become waste for that person. So, for that purpose it is important that you transfer this information within time and to the right person. Then, for the coordination of the different processes of the organization, second is, so it is through communication that the efforts of all staff working in the organization can be coordinated for the accomplishment of the organizational goals. Now, when we talk about different processes in the organization, these processes can run hand in hand. They often run interrelatedly, or they often run interchangeably. Now, when these processes are interrelated or interchangeable, we need to talk about coordination among these processes. This coordination only comes through communication. That means, one department is able to handle queries with different department. So, and one department is able to send proper information to the other department. That means, if suppose finance department is there, the information related to budgeting can be given to HR people, it can be given to marketing people, but budgeting related to HR will be somewhat different as budgeting related to finance. Budgeting related to marketing. So, this coordination will only come through communication. Thirdly, if we see it helps in learning management skills. Communication facilitates the flow of information, ideas, beliefs, perception, advice, opinions, orders, instructions, etc. both ways, which enables the managers and other supervisory staff to learn managerial skills through experience of others. Now, when we communicate different information from one person to another, or when we communicate in the organization, it also helps us to learn this soft skill, because communication comes in soft skills of the organization. Now, this skill can be learned by other people also through communication. How are we going to communicate with the person? I am going to communicate with my superior, I am going to communicate with my subordinate, I have to communicate with my peer person. So, all this can be learned through the process of communication once it is done in the organization. Now, when we talk about different orders and instructions, it always moves from the top to bottom. Now, how they are given, how formally they are taken up. Now, is it necessary to give any kind of circular number, notice number to these different policies and rules? This will be done through top management. Similarly, different information, suggestions, briefs, that will be given by the bottom up level, given by the lower level management to the upper level management. Now, how these briefs will be given in a written form? This will be given by the employees. Similarly, if we talk about the fourth point, that is preparing people to accept change. Now, communication also helps us to prepare the people of the organization for accepting change in future. Why? Because communication is a dynamic process and business too is a dynamic process. So, business is affected by external factors of the external factors of environment. So, if external factors influence business, the business processes may change to a bit. Now, if this business processes change, there will be change in the different functioning of the business also, functioning of the organization also. So, the people need to change with these functioning of the organization. Now, sometimes people accept this change, sometimes they do not, say they resist to this particular change. Now, this change can be brought about very effectively through proper effective communication in the organization. We can take up an example over here, like some time back in banks there were introduction of computers in the banks. So, many of the people accepted this change, but many of the bank employees were resisting this change. They were thinking that their jobs will be gone with the advent of this automated system. Now, at that moment the banks were not able to function very properly due to this resistance from their own employees. Now, at that moment, if proper training, proper communication would have been done for the advent of this particular technology. Now, that means we need to tell the people, we need to tell the employees that this automated system is only going to help them. Proper training will be given to them to work on these automated system. It will save a lot of time of the banks, it will save a lot of cost of the bank as well as the customers of the bank. Then at that moment this resistance would not have been there. So, nowadays what organizations do, whenever they try to introduce any kind of new technology, they try to introduce any kind of new processes or functions in the organization, they always make people aware about these functions beforehand and they make them aware about the benefits of these particular changes in the organization. So, once the person or the receiver or the employee is aware about these benefits of the organization, of the processes, he will accept this particular change very well. So, the proper and effective communication is an important tool in the hands of management of any organization to bring about overall change in the organizational policies, procedure and work style and make the staff accept and respond positively. Now, developing good human relations. Managers and workers and other staff exchanges their ideas, thoughts and perceptions with each other through communication. This helps them to understand each other better. They realize the difficulties faced by their colleagues at the workplace. So, it also helps in developing good human relations. Now, good human relations is also a part of communication. It is also being taken care of by human resources at the in the organizations. Now, human resources always focus that the level of conflicts is always reduced. Why? And this level of conflict can be reduced through better and effective communication. Lastly, we can say the ideas of subordinates encouraged. The communication facilitates inviting the encouraging ideas from the subordinates on the certain occasions on any task. This will develop creative thinking. The managers must know the ideas, thoughts and comments, reactions, attitudes of their subordinates, and superiors should know the same from the lowest level staff for their respective departments. Now, we can say that by understanding the process of communication, we can serve the purpose of communication in a very effective manner. Thank you.